Now, what I'd like to do now is jump right into our first section. I'm going to hand over the clicker to Nnamdi. He'll walk through the data. I'll go and take back over at the guidance slide. This is career entry and establishment. The first typical stage you get into, getting your start, that's what all this is about. It's that period of time in your career when you obtain a commitment to get involved in project management, to the time that you've completed your first successful project and you are henceforth established. Your successful project is in the heart and mind only of the person who has paid you to get that project done at this point. But that's how we're sort of framing career entry and establishment. So, Nnamdi, let me give you the clicker. Can I jump in here, Nnamdi, before you talk? How many people? All right, stand up. Those napkins are also projectiles. So if you need to get my attention because I'm going long, just do it. How many people here like to go to an occasional watering hole with your coworkers every once in a while? Good. I have my occasional coworker watering hole buddies on that table way over there. So I'm glad, appreciate you showing up as moral support. What I'd like to do is give you the feel that you're at a watering hole with 150 of your closest coworkers. And if we can get that level of relaxed state, then the sharing of ideas and dialogue is going to be just that much better, and hopefully the value will subsequently that you get out of this event comes right with it. So, with that in mind, go.
Okay. Never mind, I was going to ask if you guys can hear me, but I heard that pretty well. So the fun thing about being on a research project is that you get to ask all the questions you want answered. So in this part of the presentation, we were after two things primarily. A, how does one get into the PM field? And B, how much experience do they usually have before they come into the field? So we can see here that typically a PM, this is based on our research, typically a PM comes into the field after gaining experience in another field. So after that, we can see here that PMs, the majority of our participants spent 5 to 9 years somewhere else before their first PM role. And we can take that one step further and say that 75% of our participants spent a minimum of 5 years in another profession before their first PM role. So after spending all that time, how did they change? How did they transition to become a PM? Well, many cited that it was by accident. It was totally unplanned. In fact, 64% did not plan on becoming a PM. So, I have a question here that I'd like to pose to the audience. If 75% of the PMs spent a minimum of 5 years in another field, and 64% of them did not plan on becoming a PM, why transition? Would anyone like to answer that?
Because somebody has to do it.
Okay. Anyway.
My career started as electrical engineering, and I did pre-sales engineering for a number of years. And somebody threw at me an opportunity to do project management. I really didn't know what the heck it was. So I tried it, and I was told I was good at it. And from that, I actually had a successful project. So that's what kind of drew me into it, and then I got pulled in. And I went back and forth for about 15 years, a couple of years of pre-sales engineering, a couple of years of project management, and it was about, for me, about a dozen years ago that I decided on project management until I retire.
Nnamdi, that's a perfect opportunity then to go through the rest, because you're a perfect straight man.
Yeah. So you guys are good. I was expecting to hear something about pay, and it turns out a lot of our participants said that it was for job content and not pay. In fact, 79% said pay was not a factor. These people became PMs because the opportunity presented itself to do something new, interesting, different, and exciting, and they seized it. Some of these people thought that becoming a PM was the natural progression based on where they were already in their career. And like Steve said, they tried it, and turns out they had natural capabilities, so they kept doing it. So, once you have accidentally taken your role as a PM,
what skills do you want to focus on? Well, the participants said your hard skills are important, but 11% said that. But 3 times as many stated your soft skills are most important. But what's most telling to me, is this number right here. 57% said
you need to develop your hard and soft skills equally. And one takeaway from this is do not focus on any one separately. Do them both. It will help you tremendously.